this is going to break your heart, but it wasn't until probably 2 years ago that I realized, oh my gosh, why am I about to expose myself on my own show? I did not know that candles could be relit. I literally thought it was one and done. Yeah, it's
Oh,
insane. It's insane. It's insane. Yeah, I
that's
can.
okay.
Yeah, but
I've heard a lot of interesting candle habits in my journey of being a candle maker, and it's really interesting because there's a lot of mixed information out there. But you know what? I'm going to send you a candle, and I will give you a little candle care card so you can enjoy the full experience.
you're so sweet, but trust, I plan on ordering one. We do not send y'all. Here's the thing. This is a quick detour.
No.
Quick detour. Support your friends' businesses. I think
Yeah.
it's so weird. I like in college, I had a couple of friends with companies, and there would be people that'd be like, "Oh my gosh, can I get a free sweatshirt? Can I have a free?" No, if that's your friend, you better support with your coin. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Do I Know You? It's me, your tried and true beloved host, Jordy Ray, and y'all, we're in April. What's going on? I promise y'all time is not real because what? I haven't even worked out yet. Like, what is going on? My New Year's resolution is over. Let's try again in 2024. Actually, that reminds me, we should do a check-in. Like, we're done with Q1 of the year. We're moving on to Q2. Yeah, that's right. I'm a business girl. You see the glasses. Like, how are we doing with our New Year's resolutions? Should I even bring that up? Is that triggering for some of us? Let's move on. Let's move on. Y'all, today I'm so excited to welcome a truly beautiful soul as our guest this week. So her name is Aiyanna Epps. Epps, you probably recognize the last name. Her father is Omar Epps, but y'all can go watch interviews of him. You know on Do I Know You, we're all about the person, not who their attachment is to. And y'all, speaking of New Year's resolutions, if you felt like you needed some motivation or some like juice back in your life, this is the interview that's going to do it. It's short and sweet. Aiyanna is a beautiful person. She's an entrepreneur, she's a candle maker, but she's also just so involved in wellness and things like mindfulness and grounding and nature and healing. And all of those are things that I don't think I could ever have enough of. So I'm really, really honored that she came on today. I think y'all are going to learn so much. I think there's something to be said about holding space for conversations that do lead to healing and that do lead to breakthrough. And I think that that's what this is. At least that's what this was for me. I know I'm a little biased, but I think y'all are going to love her. So I'm not even going to waste any more time except to say maybe y'all pause this really quick and you go to the treadmill downstairs, upstairs, and maybe you watch it on the treadmill because we got goals to hit. We got summer bodies to get ready. Just kidding. Any body you have is a summer body. Whatever body I have in June is a summer body. But I digress. Anyways, please welcome my new friend, Aiyanna Epps. Welcome back, everyone, to Do I Know You? Today, I am with such a beautiful, like, you know how you meet people and their soul just kind of has a glow? That's already how I feel about our guest today, truly. No, I'm so serious. She is just an incredible light that has really just trailblazed her own path when it comes to entrepreneurship and healing and everything in between that just makes up her identity. So I'm so excited to welcome my new friend, Aiyanna.
Thank you so much for saying that, Jordy. You were such a sweetheart, and I love your energy. You're a bright ray. I can't wait to get to know you more.
Thank you. Well, y'all, I was telling her before we like started, can we just take a moment for the hair? Like now the weather's getting, yeah, give us a little. Now that the weather's getting warmer and like summer's upon us, I think she's really convinced me to go purple this summer. But are you
Yes,
lavender
you
or is
should.
it pink?
So this is pink. I've done
Okay.
lavender before. I've done lavender. I used to do when I was in high school. I called them cotton candy braids.
Oh my gosh,
It
I
was
love
like the pink and the blue cotton candy colors.
that. That's what high
So
school is for cotton
that's what
candy braids.
yeah. Gotta have fun.
Literally. Oh my gosh, Ayana, how are you feeling today? Give me 3 words to describe how you're feeling in this moment today. Like, let's do a vibe check.
I love I love that. I love that. Okay, so vibe check. It's a beautiful day.
Mm.
I'm here in the beautiful Nevada desert, and it is just perfect spring weather right now. I spent most of my morning outside, so
Yes.
love the weather. Corny but true.
No, it's beautiful.
And then grateful, we have family in town visiting from
Mm.
out of state and out of the country.
Wow.
So I'm excited to just get some quality time in and yeah, just love spending time with loved ones. It's Easter weekend and
Yes.
yeah. And then the
Amazing.
third feeling I'm feeling right now is excited. I'm feeling super excited about this conversation and just a lot of different things happening in life right now. So
Yes.
yeah.
Those are great words. What a positive outlook. And okay, tell me, you're in the Nevada desert. Does that mean, and this is a very dumb question, but I've never been there. Is it like hot year round? Like, is it the like dry heat year round?
It's dry year round, but you actually wouldn't believe it. It gets super duper cold during the winter time. Super cold
Wow.
during the winter time, and we have a mountain an hour away that gets full snow. We snowboard there, and yeah,
Oh my
so
gosh. That's so
we get the
cool.
seasons. We get the
Okay.
seasons.
Period. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Well, thank you for taking the time out of your day to do this.
yeah, of
Um,
course.
I told you before, I have so many questions for you. I guess my first one is there's like so many elements that make up your identity. And we were talking about this a little before, but I'm
Right.
curious, how would you describe yourself? What are some
Mm,
words or phrases you would use to say, like, no, this is who I am?
that's such a difficult question to answer. I've always like the question who are you and how would you describe yourself is so interesting because I feel like words can be so limiting. But
Mm.
at the same time, we have some beautiful words, so let me try.
Okay, yes.
um, I would describe myself as an appreciator of art. I try to surround myself with art and artists and just love and beauty and
Mm.
fun and adventure. I'm very outdoorsy. I love to be outside. I love to go camping, road trips. I'm all here for all of the beautiful experiences like that outside.
Yeah, yeah,
um, and then I would say a curious person. I love to learn. I love to read. I love to research and study. I've always been that way.
yeah,
And I feel like that's just sort of the lens I apply to my life.
yeah. That's incredible. Okay, what are your camping tips? Because I just went like camping such a stretch. We'll call it glamping. And I just it took me so much to get there mentally and be like, Jordan, because I'm like, okay, I appreciate nature, but from inside.
Mhm.
And I know that's crazy, but like I'm more like
No.
water, like the beach
Mm.
type girl. But
The beach, I
camping,
love it.
the beach is great, but there's something about camping that I just it's like a mental hurdle for me. I don't know. Have you always been
That's
an
really
outdoors person?
interesting. So I've always been an outdoors person, but I never camped until my partner introduced me to it. He
Oh,
grew up
incredible.
camping with his family all the time. And so our first camping trip was kind of a rough one. It was super windy, it was super cold, but I had a great time. And so what I've learned about camping is it's harsh. It sort of
Mm,
takes you back to like just the visceral humanness of our bodies and
yeah.
being in nature, just kind of in the raw elements. And
Mm,
I like to just take a lot of opportunities to meditate in nature and just get grounded and slow down and be present and watch the
yeah.
trees, listen to the. It sounds so cliche, but it's just a great reset
Yes.
for the mind and the body, and get out of the city life and the super technology.
Right.
I like to just detach, you know.
Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You seem to me like from just our brief conversation earlier, and then also I'm obsessed with your Instagram. I love that you're now a follow of
So
mine.
sweet.
But you seem
I love
very
it.
like into like wellness, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like
Mhm.
wellness and like grounding and spirituality. Like, how do you see those kind of come alive in your life?
Yeah. That's a good question. Well, that really stems from the way I was raised.
Mm.
My mom and I spent a lot of time in nature together, and
Mm.
she was super into all the outdoorsy stuff. We would go snowboarding all the time together. We went to the beach almost every weekend because I grew up
Oh,
in California, not too far from the beach.
right.
And yeah, we just spent a lot of time outside and we wouldn't even, it didn't have to be an activity. It was just being out there together and
Mm.
talking. We'd always have food, do picnics at the park, kind of stuff like that, and enjoying our time together. So
Yeah.
I've uh, when she passed away, I really learned to reconnect with that
Mm.
to help connect me with her energy now that she's no longer physically here. So I
Wow.
think that's a big part of it is I really feel most connected to my mom when I'm outside and just sort of present and you know?
Right. That is so beautiful. Well, I think that actually leads us perfectly into what I most definitely would love to talk about, which is your business, Kalima Candles. So, y'all, I don't know. For me, I'm a candle girl. This is gonna break your heart, but it wasn't until probably 2 years ago that I realized, oh my gosh, why am I about to expose myself on my own show? I did not know that candles could be relit. I literally thought it was one and done. Yeah, it's
Oh.
insane. It's insane. It's insane. Yeah, I
That's
can't.
okay.
Yeah,
You know,
but
I've heard a lot of interesting candle habits in my journey of being a candle maker, and it's really interesting because there's a lot of mixed information out there. But you know what? I'm going to send you a candle, and I will give you a little candle care card so you can enjoy the full experience.
you're so sweet, but trust, I plan on ordering one. We do not send y'all. Here's the thing. This is a quick detour.
No.
Quick detour. Support your friends' businesses. I think
Yeah.
it's so weird. I like in college, I had a couple of friends with companies, and there would be people that'd be like, "Oh my gosh, can I get a free sweatshirt? Can I have a free?" No, if that's your friend, you better support with your coin. So don't even
Yeah.
worry. I'm planning, but I do want your recommendations on like
You're so sweet.
scents
I
and stuff.
appreciate you.
Of course, I already had the tab up. Don't even worry about it. But all this to say, can you tell us how the vision came to you, how you
Mm.
started? I would just love to start from the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, okay, that's kind of a interesting question. So I've always really been into candles. I think they're amazing, fun,
Mm,
but they weren't really a huge part of my life. I just always appreciated them.
mm.
And then the pandemic happened, and yeah, let's just say that the stay home mandate was really hard on the mental health for me.
Wow, real.
So I really needed to slow down and find an activity that could help me process my emotions in a healthy way and just
Mm,
be an outlet for expression.
right.
And so I decided to start making candles. And it was just a little pandemic hobby that stemmed from being into candles and wanting to do something crafty.
Uh,
And then the vision for Kalima Candles came when I had friends and family asking me to make them candles because I was
uh,
posting pictures and they were like, "Oh, these look so fun. They're so cute. I want to support. You should do a business."
uh,
Um, so yeah, I started to get the vision for Kalima Candles because I started making candles to really help me navigate my grief.
mm,
So it just felt natural to name the business after my mom. Her name was Kalima,
mm,
and to share a little bit about our relationship together and the positive impact that she's had on my life with people. So that's what I do on my social media and just encouraging people to slow down, like what candle making has done for me.
mm.
Um, so yeah, just sharing the positive things that have worked for me to help navigate through difficult life circumstances and
Right.
situations
Right.
with people so that the world has a positive place to go. So yeah.
Yeah, that is so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I think I just started therapy like probably like 6 weeks ago. Shout out to my
Good
therapist.
for
Yeah.
you. Okay.
Thank
I love
you. Girl, it was time. The insurance said tick, tick, tick. So here we are. But I I don't know, as I've been just going and like really processing, my therapist is a black woman and she just is really she's just really great. But we were talking about the fact that like I just don't process my emotions well. And like even things from
Mhm.
childhood, there's like no, I don't really have an outlet for me to, I haven't given myself the space maybe to process and like really let that just like kind of settle.
Yeah,
And I
sure.
was right. And I think that's very common for a lot of people. Like
Mhm.
obviously I see it from the lens of like a black woman, but it's a very universal experience. And so I think it's so beautiful that you literally created art and like not just art, but like art that will improve the lives of others from your healing and your grief and all those things. Like that is such a that is no small thing at all because there's like no blueprint, right? Like there's no manual like how to process grief through art. Like there's no you just had to
Thank you so
go.
much for saying that. And I just want to
Mm,
say on that note, I think what's really beautiful about art and why I appreciate art so much is that that's almost the catalyst of every great art that you see.
mm,
Almost every artist is creating out of a place of pain or release
wow.
or processing something that they've been through, and that's why I find art so beautiful because it's interpretive, it's subjective, it's just it's unique always, and it's a
Yeah.
form of expression of people's heart. And so there's so many different mediums of art. I love all forms like dance and music
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, so there's lots of that. And so I just wanted to give credit to all the other artists who are out there doing their thing and
Mhm.
expressing their heart and passions and sharing that with the world, because I think that we all go through different things and we have different ways of processing it and sharing it
Totally.
with the world. But I think it's especially vulnerable. I mean, even you yourself, like sharing of yourself and being
Mm.
vulnerable with people and conversation, I think is super raw and honest, and that's
Oh.
something that should be honored. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Y'all, like literally this whole conversation is gonna be us affirming each other because I feel like we really just get each other.
It is.
Um,
I love it.
I love it too. I'm here for it. So, okay, because you are um creating beauty out of pain,
Mhm.
how does it feel? So you said you didn't start with the intention of like making it a business, right?
I
So when
didn't
it got to the point when you were right. So when it got to the point where you were like, "Oh, I'm going to sell these and, become an
Mhm.
entrepreneur." Was it a tough thing for you to like almost like not give your baby away, but like, "Oh, now someone else is going to see it and like interact with it." Like was that a tough thing to overcome
Absolutely.
mentally?
Absolutely. I feel like I still am navigating that as I enter
Mm.
different chapters of being an
Oh, wow.
entrepreneur. And it really is like every new stage is a first. So I'm just jumping in like
Yeah.
super faithful, just okay, I'm just gonna trust. So I've definitely struggled with that. And I think it's interesting to see how the entrepreneur world is tough.
Mm.
I think there's a lot of things that I just try to shy away from because I really want to maintain my authenticity and like the
Mm.
mission and passion behind my brand.
Yeah.
So I just try to cut off any distractions that lead me towards anything that's not the heart of my business, if that
Mm.
makes sense. So
Yes.
just remaining in integrity with my values of sustainability and working with people who value honest conversations and
Mm.
supporting one another and empowering one another. And so um yeah, just learning how to overcome the different hurdles of elevating the business and networking and connecting with the aligned people who share the same values. That's been definitely tough,
Yeah.
as I'm being the most vulnerable part of myself in my business. I'm sharing my most emotional parts. So
Right. Right.
yeah, it is very tough. It is.
Yeah, that's like a terrifying thing. I mean, I can definitely resonate like in a different way with the show. I'm like, okay, this is like my child. Now,
Mhm.
like posting it, I have no control over like people's perception of it or like how
Exactly.
they
Oh
want to
yeah.
interact. Right. And I'm like,
Oh yeah.
this is like a part of me. It literally becomes like a part of your identity. Right. And so
Yep.
it's like a very, very scary thing. But I love what you said about just like leaning in and like
Yeah.
trusting because that's really how I personally found that I've been able to like stay grounded is like, okay, forget all the noise. I'm gonna
Yep.
trust.
A lot of prayer, meditation, and silence to
Mm,
genuinely like hear the discernment from the universe, listen to the messages
mm,
that God or whatever you believe in
mhm,
for higher power or faith
mhm,
is saying to your soul. Because so
mm.
often I feel like we get distracted by what other people think or other opinions. We're so immersed in outside things that we don't really look inside a lot of times.
Mm.
So with my candles, that's why I encourage meditation and just setting time to be with yourself, because you have to watch your candle. You're not supposed to leave a candle unattended. So
Mm.
when you light a candle, you're supposed to sit there and be in that room and be present. And
Oh, wow.
so I really try to hone in on just the simple things to connect to the deeper things. Yeah.
That's beautiful. It reminds me of something, a word that keeps popping up in my mind. It has been over like the past week is like linger. Like I
Mm,
feel like I don't do enough lingering. There's like a moment and I'm in it for the moment. And then like after I don't sit and like linger in it, I just kind of move on. And what you're
yeah.
saying about like the silence and the meditation, you're really lingering. And with the candle, you're providing a way for people to linger. I didn't even think about that. Like you're not supposed to leave the room. Like after you light, you're supposed to sit with it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing. I'm literally obsessed. I like live by myself. I don't know if I should say that on the internet. Oh well. I like live by myself now and it's amazing, but because of that, I don't have like roommates to like check me on like my dumb mistakes. And
Mm.
like my first, well, maybe it was like my second month I lived here, I accidentally left a candle on all night. I
Oh
woke
no, we've
up.
all done it. We've all done it.
It was so humiliating and it was only me. But I woke up and I went to the bathroom and I was like, "Ooh, it smells good in here." And I went back to sleep.
So
Girl,
true.
I like my eyes closed and I just go, it was like God was like,
Yep,
"Get up." And I went, I was
yep.
like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, God. Like this is crazy."
And that's actually so crazy that you said that because on my candle making journey, I've had a lot of candle mishaps, but I've definitely left a candle burning too long. And what I realized is it's so interesting. I'm sorry to bring everything back to
No,
like the
please.
emotional well-being space, but
Please.
usually when we're so frantic that we forget that we lit a candle, that means that we have a lot on our mind and a lot
Oh.
on our plate because we're not able to focus on what's present. And so, and
Mhm.
even obviously we can get distracted, but that takes us out of the present. So, you know, if we're doing
Wow.
something else and we have a candle lit. So on my social media, that's why I really try to promote just mindfulness and really lighting your candles in an intentional way. These are intention candles.
Wow.
They're aromatherapy candles as well. So you got to be in the room to really get the full experience. But
Mm.
yeah, I just thought that's interesting because I know there's been a few times where I left a candle burning for too long.
That's so good though. The
Yeah.
intentionality behind it. I
Yeah.
honestly feel like, what are your tips for like coming to a place of like silence or coming to a place
Mm.
of stillness? Because I do think like even for me and some listeners watching, they might feel like, okay, I want to get to that place, but I don't know tactically like what works for me.
So I love that you said that, that last part, tactically, what works for you. That's such a key element of wellness that I think is kind of
Mm,
missing. I think that there's this sort of one size fits all thing in the wellness industry that I'm trying to break because
mm,
the truth is we all are experiencing life in different ways.
mm.
And so we've been through different things and we have different perspectives, so not everything is going to work for everybody.
Yeah.
So I try to share resources that way people can just learn because knowledge is power. So if you know about something, then you can try it and you can see if it works for you. And if it doesn't,
Right.
learn about something else. So when it comes to knowing what works for you to slow down, for some people that could be dancing. In
Mm,
dancing, I mean, I know for me, I love to dance, but not in a professional way, just fun. But it quiets the mind sometimes for people.
mm.
So
Absolutely.
what do you do that helps quiet your mind? Is it gardening? Is it
Mm.
cooking? Is it going on a walk? Like I don't know.
Right.
That's no, I don't know. I can't give you what works for you. I can tell you what works for me. I
Right.
can tell you what I'm learning about and what's worked for other people, and I can tell you what's science backed and what
Mm.
has spiritual base.
Right.
But at the end of the day, nobody knows what works except for you. So you just got to try and trust and listen to your intuition. So
Yeah, absolutely. That is so good. My last question on this is actually it's a question that I genuinely have. So I think in like a weird way, I feel like an entrepreneur with a show, even though I'm not like selling it, you know? And
yeah.
I feel like I'm at a place right now where I'm like, okay, on one hand, like I need to hustle and I need to grind. And I start to hear
Mm,
like hustle, grind culture, capitalism, in the US. But then on the other hand, I'm like, if I at any point, and I heard my pastor said this, like, if you're experiencing like burnout, like to the nth degree,
mm,
you're
mm,
probably trying to shoulder things that were never meant for you to carry. And so, as an
yeah.
entrepreneur, how have you, or how are you working to? I don't think you ever get to a place of perfection, but how are
Right.
you working to like balance that line and like listen to your discernment?
Oh, that's such a hard question. A really good one though. Thank you, Jordy,
Of
for that.
course.
um, Let me see. Well, specifically in the entrepreneur space, I think that rest is something that can be really difficult to honor
Mm,
because when you're an entrepreneur, you you're always on call. You
right.
know,
Right.
you're always
Yeah.
on call. There's always something that needs to be done. There's always a opportunity that you need to take even if you're not prepared and all of those different things that come up. So I think finding a healthy balance is what's important. And
Mm,
so it's just honoring your goals and your schedule.
mm.
And then once you hit those goals and schedule, rest. So my motto is work hard, play hard, rest hard.
Oh, love the rest hard.
Rest hard. So I will do intense seasons of work where, I'm up till like 2, 3 in the morning making candles, or I'm waking up at 5 in the morning to get some
Mm,
like computer work done, whatever. And then I'll take 3 days, because I am blessed with the opportunity to work from home,
Mm,
to just like rest, hardcore self-care, face mask, bath, candles, the
yeah.
whole thing, a detach, detox from social media, and
Oh,
just recalibrate. And then I have, I'm recharged and I'm like, all right, let's go. Like
right.
next,
Yeah.
next chapter. But life happens. And so that doesn't always work out perfectly.
Right.
Um, but then that's when like the honesty comes in. And so I try not to let myself reach a point of burnout. And I try to be really
Mm,
honest with my loved ones and the people in my life when I need help or patience, or just a little, what's the word? A little extra compassion in the
right.
moment,
Right.
um, so that I can get through the difficult chapters, and
Right.
then when the opportunity arises, I can rest. But
That's beautiful. That's really, I'm stealing that. Work hard, play hard, rest hard. Cause y'all are forgetting the last piece. Y'all
mhm.
are really missing that. I think transitioning to kind of the next question I have for you.
Yeah,
I feel like we talked about this a little bit before, but just how important privacy and like boundaries, the
yeah.
importance of that in our lives and like the central role it plays. How have you set your own personal boundaries?
Hmm. Well, I'm still learning. I'm still learning. Funny thing, you mentioned therapy earlier. I
Mm,
have had a therapist on and off for different like many, many years, but I found a therapist that I really, really connect with, and she gives
mm,
me great advice that's just aligned with my spirit and always is insightful. And anyways,
yeah.
she in 2021, I found her. She told me I lacked boundaries in my life. I didn't have any, and that was the source of most of my problems.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah, she gave me a book on boundaries. It's just called Boundaries. I think it's Dr. Townsend and Henry Cloud, something like that.
Okay.
Great book. And that really helped me start to learn how to set boundaries.
Mm,
So it's a learning process. But the first step is learning what your boundaries are so that you
mm,
can express them. So I've just been in a space of learning what my boundaries are, not judging myself and validating myself and being like, you know what, no, that makes me uncomfortable, or I'm not cool with that,
mm,
or I don't have the time for this, and I don't need to overextend myself, which I've done in the past because I
mm,
lacked boundaries for so many years, for the first
right.
half of my life. Um, that it's like, no, I want to give, I want to have time and energy because I'm a loving person, and I in order for me to love fully and authentically, my boundaries have to be respected so that I can
Totally.
give without restraint. So
Totally.
yeah, my therapist really helped me look at boundaries as a loving fence. So it's like a
Mm,
guardian for your garden,
wow.
and you get to choose who can come into your garden. So that's how she expressed it to me. And I loved that imagery because before learning it, I set it up as a wall. And it's like,
Mm,
oh, it's kind of hard to move a wall when
right.
so looking at it as just being flexible, and yeah.
That's a guard. Your therapist went off with that analogy because that's
She did. She did.
beautiful.
Shout out to my therapist. 'Cause,
Shout
yeah.
out to all the therapists listening. That's
Yeah.
incredible because I mean, you can't pour from an empty cup, right? Period.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, um, I don't know what you would call this on my website. Like the opening slogan that I've had on there since I've had my website is "Have you taken care of yourself today?"
Mm,
And so, because so oftentimes we take care of others, and I've been a caregiver in my life many times. I'm the
mm,
oldest sibling, and when my mom was sick, I was her caregiver for
mm.
years, and I was still in
Wow.
high school. So I've been in the role of giving, 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 and so the
Mm.
pandemic, that opportunity to slow down really forced me to give to myself and look
Wow.
at the ways that I wasn't giving to myself. So yeah, I try to encourage people to do that so that we can give to others, not to be selfish, but so that
Right.
we can give lovingly to everybody. So yeah.
Beautiful. I literally have no further comment on that. Y'all listen, go back, listen to that twice because that was a word. That was a word. Um, okay, my last question for you. Well, in wrapping up,
Yeah.
how so we've talked a lot about like identity and like what has contributed to our identity. There's
Mhm.
a lot of people listening right now, I'm sure, that are struggling with their own identity and what it looks like to kind of capture that because I think at the beginning when I asked you like how would you describe yourself, you're like, oh, that's a hard thing because words are so limited. And I
Yeah.
think that's beautiful, right? Because even like how you describe yourself today, in 10 years, it probably would not look the same. It's ever changing, ever
Right.
evolving.
Right.
So in
Exactly.
this moment, I guess, what advice would you give to others to celebrate their identity as it is now?
Mm. Ooh, I love that question. I think that's such an important question for
Mm.
everybody to ask themselves.
Yeah.
But my answer to that would be to just follow your joy and let love guide your life. I try to let love guide my life in every aspect, in every way. And sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes it hurts, but most of the time it does not fail
Mm.
me. And I gotta say, I'm so blessed and so grateful. I live a very fulfilling life, and I still have, you know, many struggles, many things that could be better, many things that aren't the way that I wish that they would be.
Right.
But being grateful for the things that I do have and knowing the things that I value has made it much easier to honor my authenticity. And
Yeah.
so it's a challenge because like you said, we're ever evolving, so
Right.
learning to love ourselves through our evolutions can be tough.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know what to do for that, but I just try to I try to bring it back to the simple things. I'm like, okay, well, what works? Let's go back to the
Mm.
basics. Okay, what do I value right now? What is important to me? What do I love? What brings me joy? What makes me laugh? What makes me smile? All those
Yeah.
things. What makes time feel like it's moving slowly? I'm a passionate person, and I try to encourage, especially with candles.
Yes.
Even if you're not getting my candles, guys, candles are great to help evolve, your life.
Yeah.
Just really bring a new energy in. But it's about being passionate and just
Yeah.
enjoying your life, being grateful for it, and that can be tough when we're struggling, which is why I try to provide resources for people who are struggling so
I
that you can
love
get
that.
back to that joy.
Right, right. I love that. And it's like so wild that you just never know how you're impacting someone. Like you just never know how one act of kindness, how one
Yeah.
candle, how one like word that you speak over someone's life like literally is a catalyst for so many other things. So shout out to
Yeah.
you for like walking in your purpose in that way and just doing it so beautifully. I guess my last question, my very last one is where can we follow you or just follow your candle company? Like where can we support?
Okay, so I'm on Instagram as Kalima Candles Official. That's Kalima
Okay.
Candles Official on Instagram. That's my only social media. And then I have kalimacandles.com, which is my website where I share a lot of healing resources. I do sustainability swaps. I just started this little forum for sustainability. It's on Facebook if you guys
Oh,
are interested for
cool.
yeah, if you're interested, please feel free to join.
So
It's
cool.
there's no members in it right now. It's just me. I just launched it.
Period.
But it's just supposed to be an open space for discussion about different tips and tricks that we have that are working for us for sustainability because
Yeah.
it's a huge passion of mine. It's really important to take care of our environment, and doing it in community is super important.
Mm.
So that will be a fun place for discussions. And then I am not doing any events right now, but if you check out my Instagram, I do post all the updates there. So.
Period. Not to I know you got the exclusive on the Facebook forum. We will be there, girl.
Yeah, you're my first member.
Yeah, like let me re-download Facebook so I can join for real.
I know because I deactivated mine too, but I'm like, we have so many tools for great connection that I want to use them for connection and the positive stuff because they can be taken and sort of warped by the negative. So it's like
Totally.
let's use things positively. Let's make healthy,
Period.
open, happy spaces so that we can all enjoy our lives together.
I love that. I'm just so excited for you and
Thank
I
you.
truly, Ayana, am rooting for you in everything you do because I'm just, I feel like just so proud of you and just how you're walking in your purpose and like,
Oh,
seriously, like you're using your healing in such a beautiful way. And I really admire that. So thank you so much for coming on and for imparting us with all your wisdom.
you as well. I learned a lot from our conversation today, and you have a beautiful, radiant energy. I'm so
Thank
excited to
you.
continue to connect with you.
Yes, I
Um,
know. I'm always going to be in your DM supporting you like, yes, period.
this was fun, and I appreciated the opportunity to talk about my business. So
Of
thank you.
course, anytime. All right, y'all. We will see you very soon. Cheers to you and have a beautiful rest of your day. Mwah. I hate to say I told you so, but I did. I mean, I did again. I literally told you that that was going to be healing and transformative and just so beautiful. What a beautiful person, right? I am so just in awe of her. First of all, I'm not lying about that hair, y'all. Y'all are gonna catch me in a purple wig this summer. If someone wants to sponsor that, slide into my DMs. We can figure that out. But I mean, like externally beautiful, but just even more so inside. I'm so grateful that she imparted her wisdom. I think something that I really took away was just this idea. We kind of talked about it, like lingering and like the silence and the meditation and the prayer and like what are you hearing? What is your body telling you? What is God telling you in that silence? I think sometimes it's really easy. And I talked about this, like, y'all know I'm vulnerable, period. Like, it's hard for me sometimes because I'm like, okay, go, go, go. Like, we got to get the show right. Go, go, go. Move, move, move. But it's like, if I'm always moving, am I really creating space to get the answers I'm like asking God for that I'm wondering myself, you know? So it's a tough thing to balance. But I think she brought up like everyone's mind and everyone's situation is different. You have to figure out what works for you. And also that discernment piece, being able to discern like, oh no, I need to linger in this moment a little longer is huge. It's huge. And that's so inspiring. For me, as someone who's 22 years old, I feel like I can carry that wherever, whenever. Are y'all done working out? Like, oh my gosh, that 30-minute. I purposely kept this interview a tight 30, y'all. So your 12-3:30 is over. Done. Move on. Move on. Go get your ice cream. I hope y'all learned so much. Thank you again to Aiyanna for coming on. I really, really admire her, and I'm so grateful to have her as a friend now. And I can't wait to meet in person. So that was great. Y'all, we're just moving and grooving. If you have not subscribed, what are you doing? What are we doing, y'all? Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the little things that we're dropping throughout the week. And yeah, I guess I'll see you soon. You know, I have no intention of stopping. So please, please, please take care of yourself. I hope this inspired you and gave you some life this week. And I'll see you very soon. Mwah! Cheers to you. I accidentally left a candle on all night. I
Oh
woke
no, we've
up.
all done it. We've all done it.
It was so humiliating, and it was only me. But I woke up and I went to the bathroom and I was like, "Ooh, it smells good in here." And I went back to sleep.
So
Girl,
true.
I like my eyes closed and I just go, it was like God was like,
Yep.
get up.